Hello. In this video, I'll show you how do you find future value of annuity by using a scientific calculator and also TMB solver. Um, so here's a formula to find the future value. Future value is represented by FV, where FV is a future value of the annuity. And the PMT is represent a payment or periodic deposit. So how much you deposit every certain period of time, that's gonna call PMT, this periodic deposit also called. And another symbol that pretty much you know before, R is the annual interest rate. You put the decimal form in the formula, and the number of compounding period per year, that's the lowercase n, and T is the number of year, how long you wanna deposit, that's called T, lowercase t. Okay, these are the symbols, and you put this value on this formula to find the future value from the annuity. So after you find the future value, you're also asked to find total deposit in the annuity. So total deposit equals to PMT, which is periodic deposit, times n, which is n is number of compounding period per year, times time t. So that's the formula for total deposit. And also other part in this problem is to find the interest from the annuity. The interest is difference of total deposit and a future value. So future value minus total deposit gives you interest. Okay, future value you get from the formula, and the total deposit you get from this formula, and you subtract, you get interest that you earn from the annuity. Okay, let's do the problem here. Next question here about future value of the annuity. So here's a question. Determine the value of the annuity, which is also called future value of the annuity, FV. And then here's question, and you notice that the three part here. Jill has an account that bears 5% interest compounding quarterly. Notice that interest rate is 5% and quarterly is 4 times a year. So this is lowercase n equals to 4 because of quarterly. She decided to deposit $500 quarterly into the account. So she will deposit $500 4 times a year. And that's is a periodic deposit, also called PMT, is 500. The first question is, what's the future value of this account after 35 years? Because the question actually to find how much the account gonna be after 35 years. Okay, that's the first question. Part second, how much money will Jill have to put in the account after 35 years? So is how much she deposit in the account in 35 years if she does 500 quarterly. That's the next question. This is total deposit you got to find in the part 2. And part 3, how much interest will Jill have earned? So you got to find the interest in the part 3. So here's a formula for future value of the annuity I mentioned before. So I'm going to put this value of this PMT or N in the formula, and I calculate using this scientific calculator. So I start with the PMT. PMT represent periodic deposit, which is 500. I mentioned before. I put 500 and times here. Now I put the fraction here because this is, remember that this whole thing, this is fraction here. On the top you type everything, but when you type it, you type 1 plus r over n to the power nt. So how you do that? You do this: 1 plus r going to be 0.05, 5% as a decimal, divided by n, which is quarterly, is 4, and you raise to the power you get 4 times 35, because this formula says n times t, n is 4, multiply by, here's the times here, 35. 4 times 35. Okay. Oh, by the way, this looks like this goes on the not in the power, so I'm going to do put the power in parentheses in the power, 4 times 35. Or you can just multiply 4 times 35 and put directly there. So I just want to do like that. So it's going to be in the power now, and it goes down using right arrow key, -1. That's the top, okay, and the bottom has to be R over N, 0.05 divided by N is 4, okay. So that's how you get. So this future value of the annuity, $187,700.75, which we have it here. So next part of the question is how much money will Jill have to put in the account in 35 years. So we got to find the total deposit. So total deposit is going to be PMT times N times T. That's the formula. So I'm going to use that formula. I already did here, so you can see that total deposit is going to be, let me just make it bigger here. Total deposit is going to be PMT times N times T, which is 500 times 4 times 35, which is 70,000. So that's the total deposit she made in 35 years. That's her money she put in the account. But her account grows to $187,700.75. That's the future value here. But to find the interest, you subtract her deposit from the future value to get the interest. So her interest is going to be this much. So her account is this much, right? Which comes from interest and her deposit. She actually deposits $70,000, but $117,700.75 comes from the interest, and rest 70,000 comes from her deposit. Now I'm going to show you how do you find this future value FV using TVM, time value money solver. Okay, in the first one, this TVM solver calculator, uppercase N is lowercase n times T. So I'm gonna write down here uppercase N equals to N times T. Okay, that's the formula for uppercase N, or that's how you find uppercase N. Okay, N is the 4 and T is a 35 because time is 35, and if you multiply 4 and 35 you get 140. So 140 gonna be uppercase N. So I put 140 here. The interest rate here is, again, let me go back in the question. Interest is going to be 5%. Okay, 5% here. So I'm going to put 5 here, not the decimal. I just put the 5 here as a number, as interest. Don't change to decimal. This is PV is present value. We didn't do anything here, present value, so leave it blank here. Do nothing or keep it 0. PMT, that's the $500. That's why we use in the formula as well. So PMT 500. And future value, we want to calculate future value here. So we need to solve this future value here. So, but payment per year going to be quarterly, 4. So I put the 4 here. So payment per year also going to be the 4. So I put everything here except this present value. Because this question doesn't have that present value, just keep it 0 or just leave it blank. So now you just solve for this future value. Just I click solve here and I get this amount under future value, which is what we will get is future value. So this is this number you see here, 18700.75. okay, so that's how you find the future value using this TVM solver. So after you find the future value, and again you find the total deposit and interest on by using the formula as I saw before. Okay, all right, thank you for watching. It's kind of long video, but I think it helped you. Bye.